So ever since Chris Brown dropped Breezy and I heard Warm Embrace, man, I've been on this 80s R&B wave. However, being a huge Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis fan, 80s R&B has always been a sound that I love. So I thought I'd cook up an 80s inspired R&B joint that may just inspire you to do the same. What you're hearing in the background is a TR-808 drum pattern from the latest sample pack on my site, 1985. And as always, links to all of the sounds, plugins and samples used can be found in the description below. And we're going to use this loop from 1985 along with a vocal from Splice to give ourselves a quick start and a basis to work from. For me, 80s music has the best bass lines, when it comes to synth lines at least, and it's all about groove. So let's start with that and start with the verse, but be sure to stick around for the chorus because it's going to be dope, trust me. Alright, so we have our bass line, let's add some keys. So the chord progression in the verses of a lot of 80s tracks I find are pretty simple, especially with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, but then they really kind of open up in the chorus. So for the verse, I'm going to keep it really simple and just have two chords, and I'm going to use them to kind of fill in the space left by the bass. Cool, that sounds sweet. Let's add a lead over the top. Great, love that. Often I'd more freestyle my lines, almost as if I was riffing like a vocalist, but what I find is often in 80s music, you would often have these lead motifs, and that's what we have here. Great, so for the final touch in the verse, I want to add something to signify that we're moving on to the chorus. And I've kind of already done this with the bass notes I've used. They're leading to the A flat, the 6 in C minor, or the 4 in E flat major, however you like to look at it, which is the note that I want the chorus to start on. So we have that, but to kind of make this transition even more noticeable, let's introduce a new sound. And I have this line that I'd like to add to the chorus. And for the signal, what I'm going to do is introduce this line just a little bit early, 2 bars earlier, so that it acts as a bridge between both sections. Great, so we're going to add the rest of that in the chorus. But let's start the chorus with the bass again. Won't you be honest? Won't you be honest? Won't you be honest? Won't you be honest? Again, with the bass, we've opened it out a little bit in terms of the progression that we're going to be using, but still we're just respecting the drum pattern. That clap really needs to breathe, especially here in the chorus, and I don't want anything playing over that clap. Let's add some chords, and this time we want a full chord progression as it's time to open out the song. And we're just going to follow the bass line, but I'm only going to play 2 chords in my right hand and let the bass notes superimpose themselves, changing the overall sound of the chord. Let me show you what I mean. The bass actually goes to the E flat on the last chord, which changes the chord completely. So let's do that also with our keys. Alright, great. Let's bring back that line that I teased at the end of the verse. Awesome. Hear how everything has its own space, its own little pocket to shine. All of the little melodic notes between the bass and the keys happen at different times. And this is really important in getting a clarity, you know. Just as I speak on sound selection, composition also trumps mixing in my opinion, or it has its place. You want to get that right first. Cool, so I think it sounds good so far, but I feel like it needs a stronger motif or just something in the chorus to hook the listener or to make the song a bit more identifiable and unique. But before we add that, let me quickly tell you about today's sponsor, III, and their TMA2 Studio Plus wireless headphones. These headphones, they actually sent these to me back in January, and let me tell you, they've completely changed the way I've been working for the last 9 months. Being in an untreated room and an apartment at that, headphones have been my go-to for years, but I've always hated wearing them. I find them uncomfortable, especially after wearing them for long periods of time, and I hate cables and being tied to my desk. I like to get up, I like to move around, and I like to dance when I'm feeling what I'm creating, and I know you do too. And the majority of my production actually happens away from my desk, at my keyboard. So when III asked if I'd like to try a pair of their headphones, of course, I said yes. These wireless headphones are the very first of their kind, offering a stable, ultra-low latency of just 16 milliseconds at 44.1 kHz and at 16-bit. They use a technology called W+ Link, which uses a dedicated radio frequency band to send audio between the transmitter and the headphones. This is different to a Bluetooth connection. Bluetooth will continuously swap frequency bands, and so this ensures that the headphones are able to maintain a solid 60 millisecond latency, which of course is absolutely nothing. So when I press a key or play a chord, I hear it straight away. I can't perceive 60 milliseconds. This, along with having the freedom to move anywhere in the room while still being able to hear the music the exact same way, that's what's been especially dope for me. And you get 16 hours of playback using the W+ Link connection and over 80 hours connecting via Bluetooth. Plus, you can always cable up if you need to, which I often do if I'm just here editing a video or whatever, which is also very easy for me to do because these are the most comfortable headphones I have owned. The ear cushions are really soft. They're covered in Alcantara, and they're also very light. So wearing these for long periods of time has been an absolute non-issue. So if it sounds like you could benefit from a workflow and setup like this, I've partnered with III for you to get a free hard case with your purchase when using the link in the description below and applying the promo code StefanGuy. Thanks III for sponsoring this video and of course for sending the headphones. Okay, let's move on to that little bit of ear candy, that motif or whatever that I was talking about. So I've got this piano and bell sound I put together for that very purpose, and we're just going to ornament those bass parts that are melodic. Awesome, I think that really works well. I'm thinking of maybe also adding a saxophone to the chorus here. It might be a bit too much though with everything going on, but let's try it and you can help me decide down in the comment section below if it sounds better with or without the sax. But first, before we add that last finishing touch, if you've enjoyed this video so far, be sure to hit that like button. The more this is liked and shared, the more I can spend time making these videos, so it helps me out a ton. And of course, subscribe for more content just like this. All of the links to samples, plugins, and VSTs used are down in the description below, including a link to the latest sample pack on my site, 1985, which this drum pattern comes from. It has drum patterns, chord progressions, melodies, and bass lines, all from the 80s, so check that out. Cool. Let's play it from the top, and when we get to the chorus, I'll add in the sax line, and you can let me know down in the comment section below if it makes the cut. I've been Stefan, and as always, happy beat making.